Hello, everybody. I think we're live now. Welcome to our first broadcast of lockdown lettings. Hopefully, going to be one of the last one, which is actually related to the lockdown scenario. Today, what we're doing is basically having a quick question and answer session with our lettings manager, Nicola Wilkes. Welcome, Nicola, to the chat.
Good morning. Thank you.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Good stuff.
Yeah, very busy.
So today we're going to have a chat and just answer put some questions to Nicola, hopefully give you some answers, give you a feel in terms of what's been going on in the rental market as far as the apartment company is concerned and our clients. So I guess, Nicola, should we just launch straight in and I'll ask some of these questions that I've got in front of me here?
Absolutely. Let's go for it.
So I think the question that everyone wants to know at the moment, how has it been? Have properties been letting, and what are inquiries levels like at the moment?
The inquiry levels actually are surprisingly high. People, they've obviously got time on their hands, but people are still looking at moving, whether their own tenancies are coming to an end, they've got new jobs starting, they're moving into the area. But the level of inquiries is certainly higher than I would have anticipated it to be. And people definitely are motivated to be moving.
Yeah, we've had a really positive week. I know that. So can you give our viewers just an idea in terms of the types of properties that we've let and how we've gone about it? Because obviously physical viewings we haven't been able to do. Obviously there has been an announcement today that estate agents are now able to conduct viewings, physical viewings, albeit taking the necessary safety precautions. But prior to today, how have we gone about it?
What we've basically been doing, obviously we have good photographs, brochures and floor plans on our website and obviously on the portals, but we've also had video viewings. Some video viewings we were obviously able to do prior to the lockdown, and we've also had video viewings provided to us by tenants and also by landlords. So we have recently let properties using the video viewings, obviously answering any questions that arise from those viewings. But I think because the video viewings are the ones that you've certainly done, we've got commentary coupled with our photographs and floor plans. It gives them a very good feel for what the property's like, and because they want to secure it, they've been happy to say, yes, I'd like to let that property. We've agreed move dates, and we've started referencing. So yeah, it's been obviously a very different way of working, but we've sent out quite a few video viewings, and people really actually have been. I think they've received them very positively, and some people have been quite honest and said, look, it's not the right property for me, but obviously we have secured lets using the video viewing. So that is during this sort of strange time of working differently, it's been really successful.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it's the same on the sales side of the business. We've conducted the video views, and actually sharing a lot of them via WhatsApp seems to be the method of communication, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. Most people have got WhatsApp. We've communicated via phone, via email. We've sent out the video viewings, and they've been received really well. If anybody's got any questions to followed up, then we've answered those. But and it's quite strange actually, because I think some people have been surprised that we are actually still available to talk to, that we're taking calls, that we're responding to the inquiries that are coming in. But it has been very, very positive, and obviously our landlords, where we've got vacant properties, they have been really pleased that we've managed to secure and do the sort of work that we are doing at the moment.
Yeah, avoid the void, as they say, isn't it? So
absolutely, yes, definitely
to achieve that for our
client.
So, and examples of the types of places that I know we had one in Southgate, a 2-bed. Any others we've had inquiries in on?
Yeah, we've had the 2-bed in Southgate. We've had a 3-bedroom across on Riverside. We've also had a couple of 1-bedroom properties. Sorry.
What sort of rents were they going at?
All right. I mean, the Southgate property, 2-bedroom Southgate, was achieved 1,200. The 3-bed on Oliver Court, that achieved 1,600.
Yeah,
We've got a 1-bedroom one as well that we've got a couple of interested parties in. It's not a big 1-bed, and we're hoping to achieve just under the very high 700s on that one. But we
right.
have got a couple of offers in on that property as well.
Fantastic.
But we have got, interest in. We have a similar property also in Southgate that has attracted a lot of interest. It's just finalising getting the video viewings out there, but yeah, the rents actually are holding up, albeit what I would say to landlords is just be realistic with your expectations. If the market does start to open again now, and it's early days. The government announced late yesterday afternoon, I think, or yesterday evening, that we were going to be allowed to, they're opening the property market up again, and
Yeah,
we're going to be looking at doing viewings. But again, we have to put obviously measures in place to make sure that we're protecting those that are
safety
doing
first.
viewings. Exactly. Yeah, we have
Yeah.
to still make sure that everybody stays safe with what we're doing. So it's being realistic with expectations, but the level of properties available at the moment.
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah,
Yeah,
how is the market? How many properties are there available in the Bath market?
I I
Apartments
just
available?
I've done an analysis. We've got currently about 125 1-bedrooms available across the
Okay.
market,
Yeah.
and about 50% of those are unfurnished. So the
Yeah.
other half are furnished.
Yeah. Yeah.
Likewise, we've actually got similar numbers on 2-bedrooms. And again, with a similar percentage of furnished and unfurnished, so about 50-50.
That surprises me actually. I always sort of felt that there was more properties available for unfurnished. Do you think that might be because some people who have been doing holiday lets have maybe switched across and thought, well, actually, people aren't
There,
visiting Bath at the moment. You know,
I think, yeah, looking at the market and looking at certainly the properties that are furnished, um, some of those look like they are in the build to rent sector.
right.
So they are larger, possibly corporate landlords, and they're
I see.
offering those properties on a furnished basis.
Yeah.
Some of them definitely were being offered as sort of fully serviced with additional things to go with them. For instance, they've got leisure facilities or gym facilities. So
Okay.
they're a slightly different part of the market. Your
Yeah.
standard 1-bedroom, unfurnished, you're looking at achieving. Again, it depends, but anything from the market ranges from 750 really up to over 1,000 a month, but it
Yeah.
depends on what the property
Location.
actually has and where it's situated. Likewise,
Absolutely.
2-beds, there are still those landlords out there, build to rent, larger corporates, and that tends to be more of the furnished. Straightforward unfurnished, then again, your 2-beds, you will be looking at around about maybe 1,200 as a benchmark, 1,100 possibly. Again, it depends on where the property is and the
Yeah.
facilities it's got.
Absolutely. So obviously things are changing day by day at the moment. So this question that I had listed down: how are tenants actually managing their moves? From a logistical point of view, because we've got a few people buying through us at the moment, and they're sort of saying, well, can tenants actually move in? Are they generally doing it themselves, or are there removal companies out there now? Well,
There are literally, we had a property, a 2-bedroom property that there was a delayed move because they couldn't get removals, and they managed to secure the moment the government announced that logistics was on the list of being going back to work, basically.
yeah,
Then they've managed to secure a removal slot. So we've got a few properties where moves were delayed, where we can now firm up move dates.
yeah,
And likewise, we have had tenants who have been moving out, and it's easier in that respect. And some have gone during the lockdown period. In terms of sort of the logistics of what they've arranged, that's not something that we as a company get involved in. but what we are able to do is make sure that that keys are returned, that our inventories, our checkout inspections, they have been done once the property has been empty, and we still followed the normal process that we do to make sure that the tenancy itself is finished off properly. And obviously that things with regards to professional cleaning, that sort of thing, that if it's not been arranged by the tenant, it's done. So everything still goes on as normal, but just slightly differently.
I mean, the contractors have been really, who we use, obviously inventory clerks, gas engineers, cleaners. They've been excellent, actually, haven't we? And in terms of maintenance, how we manage that as well? Has that been? Have we had
Yeah,
many issues in terms of maintenance?
No issues at all. Most of our contractors are still working. Our gas engineers, our electricians, our cleaners, even general maintenance. Yeah, we still have access to all of our contractors. If they're having to go into properties that are tenanted, then they're liaising with the tenants. If tenants are out at work, or even if they're there, they're just observing social distancing. Our contractors are taking their own precautions,
Of course.
with regards to sort of gloves or masks, making
Yeah.
sure that tenants stay in a different room while they're working. It's really just being sensible and observing the precautions. And in fact, they're probably more cautious even than if you were going to say to the supermarket. Our
Yeah.
contractors obviously want to keep themselves safe, and they obviously want to make sure that they keep our tenants safe as well.
Absolutely right. Yeah, sure. So on the tenant front, I know I posted a video fairly early on when lockdown sort of first came about. There was a little bit of concern amongst our landlords in terms of how people were going to be paying their rents. Obviously, the furlough scheme was put in place very quickly, but
Yeah.
have we had many issues in terms of tenants paying rents? Or making those requests, and what steps have we taken to sort of advise them on what they need to do or need to consider
Okay.
if there is an issue in terms of
We
payment?
have had requests. We have not had, I think, the high volume that we might have initially expected.
Yeah,
And what we have done is every request that we've received, we've responded back to them with a letter that basically asks them for evidence of reduction in income, proof from their employer that they have been, for instance, furloughed, or that they've lost their employment. We've had to negotiate between tenants and landlords to reduce rents, but probably I think we've had less than 5% of our portfolio where
yeah,
they've requested for rent reductions, and probably even half of that where we've actually put rent reductions in place. We've had a couple of landlords who've been very generous and said that those rent payments don't have to be made up at the end. They've said, we want to help,
yeah.
and but like I
That's
said,
generally in
more.
circumstances where there's a clear issue, obviously.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. But it's really been done on a case by case basis.
yeah,
We've asked for evidence because obviously, if our landlords need any changes to their own mortgage payments, then their own mortgage provider will also ask for that evidence that they're not going to be able to meet their payments. But overall, the requests have been very few.
very
We've
few.
dealt with them on a case by case basis, and
Yeah,
I think overall, I think our landlords themselves have actually been surprised that they haven't had the contact to say, "Oh, I can't," your tenant's not going to be able to pay their rent. So,
yeah,
it's been a lot more positive than we certainly would have probably anticipated right at the
yeah.
very beginning.
Yeah. Well, I know on a usual sort of day-to-day basis, that's a sort of a key role that you play in terms of watching the rents coming in and monitoring it very closely, and obviously nipping things in the bud very quickly. So I think credit to you really, Nicola, because you
Thank
do a
you.
very good job in ensuring that rents are paid on time. Because I think also tenants need to understand that in many cases our landlords have mortgages on the properties, and any payment holidays, it literally is a deferred payment. It's not free money that they're getting. So,
Absolutely. And
you know,
and actually more importantly as well, we have some landlords who, the rental income is their income. Some have taken
yeah,
retirement, some have taken early retirement, and their rental income is, the rent that is paid is their actual income that they have to live on.
of
Um,
course.
so, the key thing
Knock-on
right
effect.
across the board has always been negotiation, but top of the list has been communication,
Yeah,
um, and ensuring that any requests that come in, they've been dealt with promptly, that we've established what circumstances tenants are finding themselves in, establish the same thing with our landlords, and reach a solution that both sides have been happy with.
yeah,
And so that it causes the least hardship, for both parties.
yeah. But as you say, I mean, it's been, excuse me, the issue of non-payment of rent is pretty much a non-issue as far as we're concerned. We've been very quick on it. I would say, or you have been very quick on making sure that
Oh,
happens.
it's
So
it's yeah, exactly. It's been, any inquiries we have had with regards to that, we've dealt with very quickly,
yeah.
and reached, a solution that all parties have been happy with.
Absolutely. Great. Okay. Another question I have here. Now, obviously, with lettings, it's a compliance minefield. We've got to keep up with so many bits of legislation and ensure that our landlords are compliant in every aspect. Is there anything new on the horizon that any would-be or any current landlords need to be aware of? Anything that's coming up?
There's been a couple of things. The first one is the energy performance certificates, which,
Yeah.
energy ratings of E and above for all rented properties. That is now sort of the final transition period has passed. That was the beginning of April of this year.
Yeah.
What's now looming and very imminent is electrical installation condition reports, known as an EICR, carried out by a qualified electrician, and properties that are coming to the market and with new tenancies that'll be starting from the 1st of July of this year. They
Okay.
have to be in place. Those certificates and inspections, they last for 5 years. Um, Tenancy renewals also have to have those, and then any tenants that are sort of running through currently on a periodic basis, they have to have those in place by the 1st of April next year.
Right.
So we have a good electrical company on board. We have been getting a lot of those put in place, making sure that, at the end of the day, we have to be compliant. It's
Absolutely.
been probably a long time coming with the electrical installation condition reports that they will become mandatory. Um, Gas safeties have been mandatory since the late 1990s. So it's really, I
Kind of
guess,
makes sense, really, doesn't it? That
it was about time that the electrical side of it actually also became on a mandatory basis as well.
yeah, yeah. No, that's good. Hopefully, that's useful information for people to see. Going forward, we are going to do regular sort of compliance sort of catch ups with Nicola. So if you are watching or if you see this video, do like our Facebook pages because we're going to probably do it certainly every month. We'll just sort of see how that works out. But an area which I think people might not realise the role of a letting agent. It is ensuring the compliance is really kept up to date. So we will be sending, doing live broadcasts and letting you know about compliance checks, that side of things. Finally, Nicola, I think this has been good. Hopefully, people are enjoying this. But have you got any top tips for a landlord at the moment, or in the current climate, or at all?
I mean, basically, obviously, we've had this scenario running now since sort of the end of March,
Yeah.
and I think the key message for our landlords has been, don't panic.
Okay.
We've put in place new ways of working. We are still open for business, and we are making sure that we're communicating with tenants and landlords. We have secured new instructions as well, even during the lockdown period, and gotten and had new properties coming to the market. So, it is a case of, there are tenants out there. The market is actually probably strong as it was pre-lockdown.
I mean,
And
going back actually to talking about the new properties coming to the market, I know that I had a conversation with a client, the property in Oliver Court that came on. He sort of said, you know, what's happening at the moment? I'm thinking, can I still market my property? And I put him in touch with you. He shared us a video, and literally, was that 2 weeks ago, Nicola?
probably
We
not even that, but
not even that, no, and we've
we
managed. So
we
it just
let
goes
it
to show.
very quickly, and we obviously have a very happy landlord.
Yeah,
You know, currently the referencing process is underway, and that was a video viewing that secured the
that he
let.
did.
So yeah, absolutely. So, you know, it's just the new way of working, and you know, the technology is out there. You know, we're having this video call. You know, it's live, and people can, you know, can watch and you know, sending questions or whatever. So it's a good means of you know, communicating and getting a message out there. Oops, are you still there, Peter? I can't hear you. Have we got a technical glitch there? Oh, hello. Hello, Peter. Can you hear me? Oh, we seem to have lost Peter on the live feed at the moment. I'm hoping that that. Oh, looks like Peter's actually gone. I'm in the show now, just me. We've had yeah, hopefully that, you know, landlords have found the sort of this the information really useful. You know, it is business as usual with what we're doing, and I'm hoping that, you know, going forward we're looking at continuing with video viewings. It keeps the number of actual viewings that we would need to do down to a minimum, you know, but whereby we're keeping tenants safe, we're keeping applicants safe as well in doing those viewings. I'm hoping that I can get hold of Peter again. Let me just see what I think we're probably actually about finished. If I can see anyway, I think it's time that this was closed, and I'm hoping that you have all enjoyed the viewing. Until the next time, take care, guys.